Hey everyone, the mini set comes out tomorrow and I just wanted to give a quick card review on the different cards. For the mini sets, I use a very simple rating system. I use broken, pretty decent, or garbage. Don't try and make things too complicated. Don't try and, figure out every scenario. You might not agree with all my takes, but I'm trying to keep it simple, keep it fast. So anyways, we're going to start right out with Cold Feet. Enemy minions cost 5 more next turn. I feel this card is broken. It's Death Knight and Paladin. Just being able to block out minions for a turn it feels insane. So I'm surprised this card is printed. I understand. There have been cards like Rebuke that are like this for spells and Lotha, but this isn't even Battlecry minions. I think this cards will get nerfed because people will hate it. So yeah, absolutely busted card to start off with. Next, we've got Dead Air, destroy your undead, resummon them. This card looks like Unholy Frenzy, but way, way worse. I don't even know why people think this card is remotely good. You can do this kind of effect with Unholy Frenzy when your opponent is on board, but you get to remove their board, and still nobody runs Unholy Frenzy. But Unholy Frenzy can be really good off of Discover, and I could see in certain spots this being good off School Teacher. Could be reasonable. Are you ever going to run blue-green to run this card, let alone, green or blue? Like, this could be just a neutral card. This card's terrible. This card's garbage. Next, we've got Cool Ghoul. This is a Death Knight / Paladin card, Divine Shield and Reborn. This card looks so freaking annoying. I'm already hating it. Divine Shield, Reborn. Take 4 hits to kill this mofo. This guy's never going to die. You play this and then you just hit him in the face for 3 every turn, and they never try and trade it off because it's impossible. Even Defile doesn't quite work the way, something like the some other cards like the Druid 1/1 minion does, because one thing will be the Divine Shield will be Reborn, so it's not actually necessarily going to die to that. So this card is absolutely busted, broken. Next, we got Yelling Yodeler, trigger a friendly death rattle minions twice. These kind of cards have been decent before with a decent death rattle deck, but it's hard to get something off like this, especially if your opponent knows you can trigger a friendly death rattle minions effect. These kinds of cards are very much win more, and death rattle decks have a hard time doing it. But especially I feel like both Death Knight and Hunter aren't going to quite pull it off. I'm kind of surprised as in Death Knight. It makes sense in Hunter. Hunter's are very much a death rattle class, but I was surprised. I guess they have the Reborn, and they want you to be able to do the cage. Finally get the cage head going, but I just don't see this card actually working. I'm gonna go with garbage. And finally, we got Hollow Hound. This is Death Knight Hunter. Also damages minions minions next to whomever this attacks. So you can attack a minion, hit 3 minions, gain 9 life, kill 3 minions. The high roll is really, really good while developing, so it can be really, really good some decks. I also think that what's nice about this is this addresses Hunter's weaknesses. That being said, it's hard to find the right deck to make this card work, but I can't deny the powerfulness of the effect. This is kind of the effect you'd want off Vicious Slither Slide off Deathstalker Rexar's hero power back in the day. So I'm going to go with pretty decent. I'm not ready to give it broken, but I think it's a pretty good card, and I could see it seeing play in the right deck. Next, we're going to Demon Hunter. We've got Remix Rhapsody. Deal 3 damage to all minions. Gains an extra effect in your hand that changes every turn. So we got, draw 3 cards. Resounding Rhapsody, Emotional Rhapsody, Willing Rhapsody. This card already has the very similar Priest card. Let me see, what is the Priest card's name? Real quick, let me pull it up. It is the very similar to Harmonic Pop, very similar effect. More things, which actually can be annoying because you might have the thing you want and not get the other thing, so it's less predictable. Less predictable, I think, is a pretty big disadvantage, but that being said, it's 1 mana less. I think this card could easily see play. It already sees play, a very similar card of similar power level for 1 mana more in Priest, so I'm going to go with pretty decent. Next, we got Abyssal Basis. Taunt Lifesteal, costs with 2 less for each weapon you've equipped this game. Equip some weapons, play this for like 1 mana. Seems great. I'm going to go with broken. Run some 1 mana weapons. I'm not sure. Let's see what 1 mana weapons are in Demon Hunter right now. Let's see. Do they have 1 mana? What Demon Hunter? Let's see. In the standard, has currently no 1 mana weapons. So wait, no. It has Calamity's Grasp is in the right now. So that's kind of the only one you have right now. But Demon Hunter has had many 1 mana weapons before. It also has things like Eldrazi Warblaze, Magnifying Glass, and the Glaivatar, which is already really good. So right now, I think this card might not be busted, not because it's good, because there's not enough synergy, but I just can't see this card not being busted at some point. It's also, warrior cards. So you could also play a lot of low-cost weapons. Get this down for warrior. Warrior has more value problems, so it's gonna have a hard time running a bunch of bad, low-cost weapons to get this because it can't draw cards. And the lifesteal isn't as valuable, but still, I think the overall effect is really, really strong. So when it gets the right synergy, I think it'll be really, really good. After that, we've got Tough Crowd. It's also a rogue card. Outcast, return a minion to its owner's hand. Sap was always a busted card. This is Sap with a bonus of a body, but it also Outcast is a big negative because you can't necessarily do it when you want to. But that being said, Sap has kind of been a card that just absolutely wrecks decks. And not only is it silence and remove, so any clunky decks kind of just get wrecked by this card. So I hate this card already, but I'm just going pretty decent, because I don't think the game will even allow this card to be good. But that being said, if you had a deck meta like a Big Paladin, you run this card, and Big Paladin is no longer a problem. So very, very strong card in the right meta. Next, we've got Rhythm Dancer Riza. After your hero attacks, return this cost to your hand. It said it's cost of 1, so you could just kind of play it over and over again for 1 mana. For many different turns, and just use it as a kind of a continual rush minion. That being said, the first time is annoying. You have to get weapons. I think this is more annoying than people think. So I don't actually think it's good. I'm going to go with garbage. That's just my instinct. I could see myself being easily wrong about this, but I feel like this is just kind of annoying to actually pull off. Next, we've got Through Fell and Flames. Giving minion rush finale +1/+1. I think this just giving a minion rush for card value. And I think using warrior just seems terrible. Warrior just doesn't have the luxury to play 0 mana cards because it runs out of value. Demon Hunter could use this, but everything already has rush. So I'm gonna go with garbage on this one. Next, we got Druid, Popular Pixie, refresh your hero power, or your next one costs 0. This is obviously very good in the situation where you have a very upgraded hero power. For the rest of the situations, it doesn't seem very good. I just think it's a thing of, I don't even really feel like this makes the cut into sort of a hero power Druid list. You just don't want to run this, even though you can get 0 for 0. I feel like it's not quite making the cut, so I'm going to go with garbage. I just don't believe in this card. Next, we got Blood Trent, cost health instead of mana. So I feel like you do this to do some sort of revive effect. That being said, like, why are you, this card seems utter garbage in Druid. Like, unless you can to buff it for a 2/2, I don't see how you use this without some sort of Shaman Evolve effect, and this is for Druid and Warlock, so I'm going to go with garbage. Next, we've got take one of your opponent's empty mana crystals. So this one, I could just not sure. I think it's empty mana crystals, so it should be you ramping, and they're not. But by getting at turn 6, it is a little awkward. But that being said, throwing your opponent off of their curve can be good, but this still seems very, very slow and inefficient. At turn 6, the Druid or the Warlock usually needs to be kind of swinging back the board, so I just don't feel like any deck really actually wants to run this, so I'm going to go with garbage. Next, we got Funnel Cake. Restore 3 health to a minion and its neighbors for each one overhealed. Refresh your mana crystal. I think this is very awkward to use in Druid. It's just kind of a thing of, and also because it's refresh, even though you can use it on enemy minions, I feel the refresh is invaluable as a big gain because you can't ramp anything out with this, so you can't like use it on 3 minions and then do something for 8 mana on turn 6. I think it could be a lot better in Priest. If Overheal Priest is a thing, you can really do some crazy stuff with this card. So I'm gonna go with pretty decent overall, but I think it's gonna be bad in Druid, but maybe good in Priest. Next, we got Fanboy. Give a friendly minion +2 attack and rush or +2 in lifesteal. This is just not like a thing you can do. You can't run 2 cards to get rush. Lifesteal is hard to pull off. These kind of cards are just never really work. And as a 2/2, you know, when you don't have a minion on board, this card's utter garbage. So I'm gonna go with garbage. Just a completely unplayable card. Next, we got Hidden Minion. When your opponent ends their turn with no mana, summon a random 3-cost minion. J. Alexander said, if this was just summon a random 3-cost minion, it would be garbage. So the only reason you'd run this is you just needed absurd amounts of secret synergy, which I don't think you do in the current Hearthstone game. So I'm going to go with garbage. Next, we've got Costume Singer. This is a mage/hunter card. At the end of your secret turn, draw a secret. If your deck's running secrets, this is a peasant on crack. Absurd, insanely good. Every deck that runs secrets wants to run this card. I'm going with broken. This card will be in tons of wild decks. I can't believe that it's peasant, but if it survive, if one it gets the immediate effect, so it's not like at the beginning of your opponent's turn. So you can easily get 2 secrets for this card. Really good card. And this is the one we got Star Power. Deal 5 damage to random enemy minion. Repeat this for 1 less damage. This card seems really good, and it seems like really nice in Hunter in that it addresses weaknesses. So it should be, I think it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? That's believe the way it works. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this card looks really strong at controlling the boards. You can just do it, clear a giant minion. I could see this clearing tons and tons of boards. This card seems really good. I'm going to go with broken. Right, finally we got Mage. We've already played some Mage cards, but let's go with this one. Remix Dispensa Bot gains a different effect. I think some of these different effects are just like, why do I want 2 mechs? That seems terrible. Why do I want 2 secrets that I have to play? They don't come into play. Why do I want 2 random frost spells? What happens when I get bad ones? 2 coins, oh, that's not bad, but like you can see, I just don't really see myself running this card. I think people want to like get maybe the random effects, but this card just seems utterly garbage. Next, we've got a Mage Warlock. Add a random Fire Mage and Fire Warlock spell to your hand. So, you know, more kind of random stuff. I just don't feel like this card is that good, but, you know, it is an imp. So maybe Warlock runs this for some, you know, imp synergy, but I think in Mage it's garbage. But, you know, I'm going to say garbage in Warlock too, but I could be wrong for that one. And then Reverberation. Summon a copy of each minion. Each one dies after taking damage. This card might actually be really good because often, you know, when you want to copy stuff, you want to copy minions that have a death rattle effect. So this already seems like it would slot in very naturally into Thaddeus Warlock. You know, you could combine it with some other things. There's a lot of things you can combine it with. Even the 3 mana card, I'm blanking on its name, that gives summons minion rush, and then get that and you get 2 minions and you have them come back. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do. You know, just duplicating, you know, what also you could do is if you run this card and you get Thaddeus, because often remember the Thaddeus down makes all your odd cost cards cost 1. You can play both of your 7 mana cards, and then you can play Reverberation, and that will summon the I'm blanking on the 7 mana card that deals 6 life, but you can summon 2 of those and get 24 damage. Just very easy to face, while 24 heal seems really strong. I'm gonna go with pretty decent because these are win more cards, but I really want to make this card work. So after that, let's go to Paladin. We got Dance Floor. Give your minions rush. This seems very similar to Broom, but setup, multi-use, but less efficient on the turn you play it. But these kind of effects with, you know, big things can seem very valuable. People are already talking about using with Kangor, but I think this overall giving minions rush, maybe in the right deck, could definitely be strong. So I'm gonna go with pretty decent, though I'm not quite convinced to say broken. Jukebox Totem. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 silver hand to recruit. These cards are always really annoying, even though it's probably not that strong. I'm just gonna go decent because I hate these cards. When your opponent puts it down, I'm like, oh my god, I have to deal with all these recruits. So, and it's 0/4, it's very annoying to remove. And then we got Horn of the Windlord. Wind Fury. Whenever your hero attacks, a minion says that's the 3/3. You take a lot of damage with this card. I get like, I think this kind of thing, people underestimate the amount of damage you're going to take hitting minions and killing them. You can do it twice, but it's only 4 charges for 6 mana. This is a lot of mana. I think people are overestimating this card. I'm going to go with garbage. Don't think it's very good. Next, we got Priest. We got Deafened, Silence a minion combo, also deal 2 damage to it. I just don't feel this is that special, but maybe if a rogue really needs silence, they'll run it. So I'll go with decent, but it's probably just garbage. Next, we got Plagiarize. Get a top card of your opponent's card, regular static card. You kind of get a component card from your opponent's deck. So it seems similar, but 3-mana cards like this feel awkward. I feel like it's a thing. Maybe it sees some play in Priest. I'm close between garbage and decent. But that being said, Priest likes value generators, and you also get to see what's in your opponent's deck, so you can use that to alter your plays. So I'm going to go with decent, but I could definitely see myself being a garbage and me being wrong on that one. Ambient, Light Spawn, Finale, and Overheal. Give a random minion for another random minion +2/+2. So you could play it as your 4-drop and buff something up. So some sort of tempo deck could quite value this, but these things are other things that win more. So they seem really good until your opponent actually just controls your board, and this seems garbage. So I just feel all these kind of things just don't quite work. So I'm gonna go with garbage. Next, we got Rogue. We got this card, One Hit Wonder, Rush, Combo, Gain Poisonous. This seems really, really good. It can effectively be, there's some issues with taunts and stuff like that, but it can be a 2-mana removal card, and the minion can actually be beneficial sometimes. So I'm going to go with Broken. This card seems really, really strong. I'm not sure what Rogue deck runs it, but the overall effect seems really, really annoying. And I think the other Rogue cards were all combo multi-class cards, so we're done with Rogue already. Then we have Shaman. We have Revive Totem Carver. Gains an extra effect in your hand that changes each turn. It doesn't say what the effects are. I'm just going to skip this one. I missed it. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, let me see. It is Mana Tide Totem. Okay, so you play it. Okay, so it kind of becomes any one of these summons a totem, so it can summon one of these many totems. Okay, that's interesting. It is nice you can play, but I do think some of these cards, the fact that it's random means you can't get the one you like and the one you need. So I just think these kind of cards are hard to actually pull off. So I'm gonna go with garbage on this one. Jam Session. This card, give a friendly minion +3/+3, deal 1 damage to all other minions. This is beneficial sometimes. I think this is a lot harder card to pull off. It's probably very good in the current in Rage Warrior builds. Maybe they cut Pyro to run this. It gives you more consistency with fire spells, gives you more consistency with damaging your board. But I don't think this is that good in Shaman. But I'm gonna go with Broken in specifically the Enrage style current deck of Warrior, but I don't think it's broken overall. The overload does matter. I think people are thinking, oh, just overload doesn't matter. Like, remember, you're paying 3 mana for this effectively, so you can't curve this out into weapon. You can't go 1, 2, 3, and that matters. But that being said, seems like a good card overall. So, but yeah. So I'll go pretty decent. I'm gonna go with garbage. I'm gonna go with garbage in Shaman, and actually I'm just gonna go with pretty decent in Warrior. So, Backstage Bouncer, transform a friendly minion into a copy of this. So you can even do something like Tour Guide. You can save up the hero power, then you go hero power and get this down and get it 2, 4, 5s on turn 3. It seems pretty decent. But that being said, stats, kind of naked stats, just aren't what they used to be. It does have taunt, but you have to transform something into it. It doesn't have rush. Rush is typically better. There was that 5-mana card that saw tons of play about 2 years ago, but there's been a lot of power creep since then. But I'm going to go with pretty decent overall. I could definitely see this seeing play. Warlock, we've seen multi-class cards, but this is the big one here people are talking about. Phantom and Lord of the Opera. Taunt, this card costs cards cost equal amount of cards in your deck. Bad with Renthal. But that being said, this card's just bad overall. You're just not wanting the kind of decks, you have to draw 20 of your cards through your deck before this is good. It's just going to be a dead card. That being said, mana cheat is a thing, cheating out things is a thing, so the right synergy comes out, but it has no class, so there's not like summon an undead or a demon. There's no way to really cheat this out currently. So, maybe someone figures out a way in the future to cheat this out. But right now, I feel like this card is garbage, so I'm going to go with garbage. You slap this down against any control deck, they're going to have a single target removal. If they're thinking, they know what your deck is, they're going to have a single target removal they're saving. You're just not going to get in a situation where you can just wait this one out. So. Next, we got Warrior. We got Remix Tuning Fork. Gains an extra effect in your hand that changes each turn. These kind of extra effects, I'm just not a believer because it's awkward. You know, you want to play this on 2, but what happens when you get adjacent minions but your opponent just playing 1, or they play a 4 health minion, you really want the +2 attack, or they have a 2 health minion but you have to go 4 attack and you don't get the armor. These cards, you want to be flexible, but it's not a card that the 2-mana weapon, it's not strong enough to just wait in your hand for the right effect and play it off curve. So I'm going to go with garbage on this one. Maybe you run it just for weapon synergies because you need to play a bunch of weapons for like that Demon Hunter card, that multi-class card. But I just think overall garbage. And we got some neutrals. Hopefully I get them all. I think we got, first we've got this Outfit Tailor. Give a friendly minion attack equal to its health. I believe, let's make sure this is... Wait, no, that was already a card. That means it's probably not very good because I didn't even realize it was a thing. Let's go Remix Musician. There we go. Gains an extra effect in your hand that changes each turn. So we got Cathedral. This card is a good arena card. Looks like a garbage card in general. So I'm going to go with garbage, just not powerful enough effect for you to run in your deck. This one is really cool. It's a discard a Grim Totem Buzzkill. Discard a weapon and draw 3 cards. Often you have too many weapons. So it's a really cool card. I'm gonna go with decent. I don't know what deck runs this, but I really just find the effect interesting. And I'm curious to see if, a card like this makes it, I could see, some sort of weapon deck wanting to run this to draw cards, especially with a deck with not great card draw. Next we've got Speaker Stomper. This is kind of like a baby Lotha, but it does have tradable, so you trade it off in matchups that it doesn't very good. It's kind of like Cold Neophyte. Cold Neophyte currently sees play in some decks. The effect is double, the stats are about double, the attack isn't double, but the health is double. I'm gonna go with pretty decent. I could definitely see this in play. You can see though Lothab so much better, but Lothab has been a broken card in Wild for a long time, so I could see in the right meta you definitely could run this. Elite Torn Chieftain. Starter Rock Duel players must spend all their mana each turn or take more damage. So this is the idea. You put this card in maybe your priest deck, and you make your opponent's life a living hell for the win condition because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I think this card's really cool, and I think in a control matchup, especially if you have some sort of infinite value, it can get really crazy. And then maybe you run something like the Speaker Storm Stomper to try and stop them from playing spells or using things, make their mana awkward, so they have to either do nothing or take no damage. This could be a sort of alternative win condition for certain decks. So and I don't think it can be silenced. So yeah, it'd be 2, then 10, and then 12, and then 14, then 16. Eventually, just full kills your opponent. So I'm gonna go with Broken. Really cool card. I think it could definitely make a big difference. And then we got Magatha, Bane of Music. Draw 5 cards. Give any spells drawn to your opponent. Run an all minions deck. This is draw 5 cards. Absurd. You could also just be okay giving some spells to your opponent. This card seems really efficient. I could definitely see this would definitely see play in past metas. I'm gonna go with Broken. Maybe it's not in every deck, but it's a neutral, so some deck I feel will figure out a way to use this card. And I believe that is it. So went through real quick. Those are my opinions on the cards. Mini set comes out tomorrow. We'll see you guys soon. Do you think my evaluations are terrible, broken, or you think my evaluations are broken, pretty decent, or garbage? Let me know what you think about my opinions in the comments, and we'll see if I'm right tomorrow. So anyways, hope to see you guys on the ladder.